All right, so here's the next one. We're going from f to f prime. All right, but this one has a little bit more. Like, do you guys know what the degree of this one is? It's the degree of 3. So because we're going from f to f prime, if we took the derivative of something that has a degree of 3, what's the f prime going to be? Like, what's the degree of the f prime? Yeah, it's going to be squared. So this is going to be a quadratic, whatever we draw. It's kind of good to have that in the back of your mind, like, oh, I'm going to be drawing a quadratic. Now for this one, I'm going to start with the x-intercepts for f prime, because the x-intercepts just kind of give away the rest of the graph. But then we could talk about it some more. So this one right here is your f graph, and this one over here is your f prime. So where are my x-intercepts for f prime? Right here it says at the extrema. So where am I extrema at? This looks like 1.5, this looks like 1/2, right? Okay, so that means over here for my y prime, we have an x-intercept right there and an x-intercept right there. Now, it's going to have to be like this or like this, right? We just don't know which one it is yet. There's no other way to draw this parabola. So let's talk about an individual point. So let's look at x equals -1. X equals -1 is down here. If this was a continued down there, is that slope going to be positive or negative? Oh, it's going to be positive. At -1, we're going to have a positive slope. So since this represents slope, your y values right here are slope. Which values are negative? The ones on top? I'm sorry, which values are positive? The ones up here or the ones down here? Well, that's kind of obvious. Here's Patey, why you asked me this question. -1, and I know that it's supposed to be positive, so I'm just going to put it right here. Well, how'd you know you put it right there? Well, I could have put it right here, or I could have put it right here. What matters is the relationship of that point with my next point. Because look, if I go to y equals 0, which is right here, is that steeper or more shallow? And I'm comparing it to x equals -1. I mean, that's really steep right there, right? It's like going to be like almost straight up. This right here at x equals 0, that's not so straight up anymore. So you're right. It is still steep, but in comparison to this one down here, it is not steep, right? This one down here is almost vertical. In fact, that line's horrible. I'm going to redraw it. So like this one would be like almost straight up. Having issues, Mr. Patey? Yeah, I'm having issues. So we're going to say this line continues on down there. Okay, anyways. So here it's not as steep. So what does that mean in terms of this graph right here? When x equals 0, since it's not as steep, we should be closer to the x-axis, right? True. Okay, so I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to graph my points right here. How did you choose 1.5? Guys, get over the numbers, okay? Don't worry about the numbers on the y-axis. Forget them. They just have to be correct when you compare them to each other. So then we get over to right here, where the slope is 0. That's the maximum point, right? And that would go right there. Okay, so we're looking good so far. My question is, does the next point, like at 1, is the point going to be down here, or is it going to be up here?
Down.
How do you know it's down here?
Because the slope between those 2 points is negative.
Because the slope right here at x equals 1 is negative, right? So it's negative. So that means it's down here. Now, if you put it way down here to right here, I don't think it really matters. It doesn't. You just need to see that this is a parabola that's going to go like this. Whoops. It's going to go like this. How do you know this goes up? Because this one had a degree of 3, this is supposed to have a degree of 2. And you could actually look at 2 right here. See this value of 2, x equals 2? That's a positive slope right there. So this should be at positive 2. We should have a positive number. And it should actually match up with the other one. So, questions? So you don't need to know the numbers on the y-axis, okay? Because you're just doing a rough sketch. What really matters are the x-intercepts and the maxes and mins over here, because those match up with the x-intercepts, okay? Now I want to do the f prime to f. Now that one's kind of difficult.